Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to this week's card. For this week I use my Copic markers, and that white panel is all one flat piece. So I started with this panel and I just took my Stampin' Up! Black marker and I freehanded some lines around the edges. And then I slowed it down here. I took these two really cool stamp sets by Penny Black. You can see them right there. And I just pulled a bunch of words that I liked. It's got so many cool words in it. And I used VersaFine black ink, which I find works really, really well with the clear stamps. And then I wanted to use the colors of Stampin' Up, but you know, I always have trouble with the Stampin' Up inks on the clear stamps. So what I did was I used my Stamp-A-Majig, and then I stamped it, I don't know, 4 times each, some of them 5, I think. And what you do is you stamp it first and you hold it down there while you grab your Stamp-A-Majig. That way you know exactly where to stamp it the second time. And the ink comes out really, really dark because you're doing it so many times, but it covers up all of those little balls that sort of show up because the ink is kind of repelling on the stamp. So I was happy with the way it turned out. Alright, and I did the dog in Memento because I'm going to be using my Copic markers. I used 3 different shades of brown. The lightest one I did all over, and then I'm just coloring the shaded areas with the dark brown. And I work in little pieces at a time because you don't want it to dry. You want it nice and wet so you can blend the colors together. And as you can see, he's going to have a little bit of shadow where his arms are sticking out, and that'll make it look like his arms are coming out. Well, I guess they're his legs. And I'm just kind of going back and forth with the different colors. My light source is coming from the right, kind of over my right shoulder, and so you're going to see the lightest areas kind of just a little bit to the right of center, and the left side is going to be a little bit darker than the right's going to be. I had accidentally thrown a pen onto the white cardstock. You probably didn't see that, it was going so quickly, and it made a little mark, and so I just took my colorless blender, which is number 0, and that will actually pull color out of the cardstock, and so I just took that mark right off. I also have a tutorial on how to color with Copics if you want to check that out. There's a link on my blog on the right margin that says tutorials, and if you click that you'll be able to find it really fast. For my rose I used a pink and a red. I didn't really do too much blending on this because this flower is pretty small, so I didn't focus too much on it. And then 2 colors for the stem and the leaves. And I added some grass in here so it doesn't look like he's floating. And I do that with all my little characters that I put on there because I think it makes it look more real. Okay, so I actually went in here and did quite a bit of shadowing. I used C4, C1, and 0. So at first here's C4, and I colored right against the image. And then I took C1 and blended that out a little bit. And then I took 0, which is going to pull some color out just to blend it into the blank cardstock. And notice that my shadows are really darkest on the left-hand side. So I'm going to use C4 to start off with on the left, as you can see right here. And now when I go over to the right hand side of this dog, I'm going to just do C1 right there, and then 0. And then I also did C1 just on this rose because I didn't want the shadow to be too dark from it. And it really makes the dog pop out of the cardstock that way. I was gonna, there's a stamp for Sis, and I was gonna put that on his belly, but then I decided I was afraid I might ruin it, so I just took the sister and I put it right there with the VersaFine. This is Worn Lipstick Distress Ink, and I'm just inking up the edges of my cardstock. Only the edge is going to show, so I'm not too worried about the middle part. And I wanted it to be pink with a like kind of graduated toward a darker color at the edge, so I just used my Sponge Dauber fingertip applicator with some fired brick ink, and I just inked the edges really carefully. And then finally, here's some glossy accents to add a little dimension to the flower. And that's it. Really cute, pretty simple. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.